What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me. It is Brian here once again with Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. July 4th, 2020. Hope everybody is ready for a day, and I hope everybody's excited for the lunar eclipse, excited for the change it's going to bring, and just excited for whatever you're doing today, whether you're with family um, or not, whatever you're doing. I hope you are, gonna have a good day. Hey, if you get a chance, please do subscribe if you like this video. Hit the thumbs up, comment, share, whatever you feel called to. I do want to get these out more and more, so I hope you enjoy the video, and we will jump into this weekend horoscope, because we're gonna do July 4th and 5th. So you think you have it all set up, and then you just don't. Anyways, we have the sun in Cancer at 13 degrees, and the moon just moved into Capricorn, where this evening it is going to make its eclipse. So I think early in this day of the 4th, it's really about getting our emotions in line with the structure of life and where we're trying to go. And it's almost like with all this cardinal energy, it's almost about letting go and holding on to emotions that you want to hold on to, and letting go of what isn't going to serve you emotionally and what isn't, helping you reach the highest place in life. Capricorn is about getting to the top of the mountain, and it's about reaching those goals and going out and getting it and building something great. And sometimes with this opposition, I think we got to find time to take a break, and an emotional break where we really go in and feel what's going on. And Mercury's still retrograde here, and it's just that time where we got to figure out our emotions and kind of let go. We got to let go of trying to control so much. Capricorn also is about control, and I think this full moon lunar eclipse is just going to hit hard without that south node there, to where we have full control over our emotions, and we don't have to be controlled by anything that we don't want to be controlled by. And I think it's really about coming into that sovereignty within us to be, what we want, and to be, in charge of our emotions, and not let the outside world and the structure of this reality shape your emotions. Yes, we are here and we have to get through it, but it's about our self and what goes on inside of us, and we gotta figure out ways to not let the outside world get into the inside too much, because that's when you start projecting a bunch of stuff that you really don't want to project onto people, onto yourself. And I think that's a lot of the energy that's going on today, is accepting this change and almost just letting go. Just letting go of the structure and so many things that we've been programmed and raised on that are about to change. And it's just that's where we're at, with all this Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn and Capricorn. I mean, this is hundreds and hundreds of years in the making, and there's nothing we can do about it except just roll with it and accept the change and grow with it. I mean, we all chose to be here for a reason, and today is going to really ignite that that passion. We have so much cardinal energy, and Mars and Chiron, Mars and Chiron in Aries, kind of making squares, and this Mars at 4 degrees is squaring the lunar eclipse from December 21st, when we had the eclipses and it was switched. So it was 4 degrees Capricorn, 4 degrees Cancer with the nodes there, but still, I mean, big eclipse, and this is more activation of that December 21st eclipses. So it's just there's a lot of karma here that's just going to come out, and Saturn coming back into Capricorn's bringing some of that, and trying to have us figure out that we can change this structure within ourselves. And it's about figuring out that that emotion within us, and not letting things get to us too much. So that's kind of the main part of the day, is just this build up. The moon is now in Capricorn, where it came in last night. I think we're just really starting to feel and get ready for. It's just changed. Like, most of you, if you're celebrating the 4th of July, this is a 4th of July like nobody's ever celebrated before, and it's on America's birthday. Like, this eclipse is just happening. America was born on a 13-degree Cancer sun, so it's just like huge change for America in general. Like, this is a huge solar return for this country that I live in. I know some of you that watch this show don't live in America, and it's worldwide at this point. Like, that's the thing, with like coming into Aquarius and like Saturn in Aquarius. It's like we can't escape. Like, it's all about the collective. Like, when we come into Aquarius, like, it's just about the collective. You can't escape it by going anywhere. So that's the thing. And like, I think that's what Corona or COVID or whatever you want to call it is really showing people, is like, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. We're kind of all affected by the same thing right now. And it's about how we can all deal with that and like not just attack and judge each other for having a different opinion. Like, it's okay to have a different opinion. I know I say that all the time, but that's North Node Gemini. Be curious, figure some things out, but don't like judge and hate on everybody. Like, stop shaming people. I see people online all the time shaming people, whether they're spiritual, non-spiritual. Like, come on. Like, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, well, that I totally understand. But I mean, if you want to go get groceries, you have to wear a fucking mask. Like, do you want your groceries? Like, we have to just like give in. Like, when you're walking down the street, fine, don't wear one. But if you have to go into a store that requires you to wear one, well, guess what? They have the right to refuse service to anybody, whether it was before this or not. So if they say you need a mask to go in, well, you need a mask to go in. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's part of like this letting go of like this, there's just, with cardinal energy too, it's like, go get it. Like, and with Mars and Aries too, like, it's easy. Like, we'll have the drive to stand up for our beliefs and what we think is right. But we got to start thinking maybe there's like a beauty here, Gemini, with Venus there starting to move forward. It's like there is like a beauty to seeing more than just one side, like to connect on a bigger level, and to just kind of be in the middle right now, because our egos are just here with Chiron. It's like we want to, and they're getting amplified with Mars coming in. Like, that's coming in, getting really close. So yeah, it's kind of just about letting go of the ego. And like, anyways, we're gonna go on to the next slide. So this is 9:44. This is when we have the solar eclipse. So as you can see, if you're on the west coast here, it'll be right over the ecliptic. It'll be really bright red moon because it's kind of coming up off the dusk right there. And you're going to have the solar eclipse where the earth will go right in between the sun and the moon. And a new slide of our life takes place. And this is the last of the eclipse cycle. So I think in a way it's a big relief, because we've gone through a lot over the last month and a half. Or the last month, right? Crazy. Because this is the lunar, then a month ago we had another lunar, and then there was a solar in between. Yeah, it's just been insane. So this has been a crazy cycle, and it's just really asking us to let go and to accept the change in the structure of reality, and to not hold on to, like, maybe we have to get closer with our emotions, and accept the emotional change and be more emotional, have just a structure in our emotions that aren't going to just be rattled by what happens in the outside world, because the outside world is like legitimately about to just implode in ways that we've never seen before. Like, the writing's on the wall, financials, school systems, like there's just so much change taking place. And if you get stuck in your South Node Sag beliefs that exactly what's going on, and that everything's just going to go back to normal, like, it's just not. This is the second slide of this year, and this is major activation. And yeah, and I see people like talking about like manifesting and like doing rituals and stuff on this, and like I'm gonna be honest with you, like I'll pull up Astro Gold real quick, and let's go back to the eclipse. 9:44. I'll show you why I'm not trying to manifest, or why I don't even want to look at this eclipse. And I think eclipses are beautiful, but like this is why. Like this is the eclipse energy. It is Saturn at +7, Mars at +8, and everything else is negative. The moon's negative because it's a detriment. The sun's negative because the sun doesn't even really like Cancer, like, surprisingly enough. And then, because it is summer, so I almost feel like the sun would have more to say there, but it really doesn't. Venus not getting any points today. Mars is running calling the show, all that, and Saturn. Like, it's all the malefic energy that's like running things today. Like, and for this eclipse, like if you want to put your crystals out under that energy, I mean, go right ahead. Like, do what you're called to, right? But astrologically, this is not the full moon. This is like the last full moon that I would ever want to put my crystals out under, or do a ritual under, or just being honest. Like, it's not that full moon. Like, this is a crazy new intense chapter that we're stepping into, and you're gonna see it Monday. And so this is like, feel good and like get comfortable and find that foundation inside yourself with this Cancer energy. Find that foundation emotionally to be strong and sturdy through the most insane roller coaster ride humanity's, probably ever seen, because we keep going up in consciousness. So like everything just gets more intense and more involved, but it can be beautiful too, because when you come in and find that foundation and like find your emotions and see the beauty within yourself, you can do anything. You can transcend this reality. And that is like where we are trying to go right now. We're trying to transcend this reality, but some people are going to get so stuck in it. And that is the 3D, 5D split that everybody talks about. It's, are you going to be able to emotionally within yourself transcend what's happening around you and just focus on like your immediate life and live it and see the beauty in it? Or are you going to get lost in the world events that's taking place, and what's just the structure of this life is just, it's going to explode. So, this is it. Like, Mars is squaring those, that last lunar eclipse from December. Big time fucking Mars activation, which has already been activated when it hit the square point at 0 Aries, and it squared our last solar eclipse. So this is just like, it's just time to let go. And ironically enough, Venus is still here trying to make good aspects, right? Like, Venus is here still in the midpoint of Mars and Chiron, trying to say, like, if you can set your ego aside every time, if you can set your ego aside for just a little bit and look at the beauty in life and see that there's just so much there's just beauty around you. Like, you got to be willing to see it, though. You got to be curious to see it. Maybe it doesn't just show up, because Jupiter, is over here getting beat up. He's getting beat up by Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn right now. So you might not just get that gift and that beauty from the other benefic, but like Venus is picking up space, like picking up her pace. Like, she's starting to move forward again. She's going to start outpacing Mars, and Mars is never going to actually sextile. They're never going to hit exact. So this is like the best we get of these few midpoint hits with this sextile, because Venus is just going to run away. And it's kind of ironic. It's like the guy chasing the girl. It's like we're running away, and we have to grab hold of that feminine energy right now and run away and accept change and be able to morph and be a dot and just go and just be, without being like so stuck and set in the masculine ways and the structure of life. As we move into Sunday, we come off this, but then we get the moon, which is about to conjunct with Saturn, Pluto, and also make a sextile to Neptune. Talk about just surrendering to God. It's like we just have to trust that God is going to take us to that higher place. And it's just in His hands now. And we have to trust and believe deep within ourselves that we're going to be okay, and we are divinely loved and divinely guided by a higher power. And I know that can be difficult, I really do. But it's just surrendering. And it's like the biggest thing we can do right now is just kind of like put our ego aside and surrender, and it'll take us to like a beautiful, beautiful place. But if we just keep arguing about masks and politics and just hating on each other and whose lives matter, because we all matter. And I know that comes off wrong sometimes because I am a white male, but on like a very spiritual, like, we do. And it's just crazy right now. We're so divided, but really we're supposed to be coming together, because this is all part of the plan, is to divide us and divide us more and more and more. Like, that's always been the plan. But it's not about being divided. It's about coming together. Like, it's humanity. That's Aquarius. Aquarius is humanity. It's about connecting on that collective level. And that's what this weekend's about, is surrendering to a higher power and knowing that we all are that divine light of God. We all are God, and Spirit is in us, and we all just have to get back to that. But we have to remember, and we have to stop getting trapped in this illusion, in this matrix that's just ripping us apart, that's going to tear down even more and scare people even more and more and more, when there's nothing to be scared of, there's nothing to fear except fear itself. And the last thing I'm going to say before I close this video out and pull a card is we have a yod, which does form on the eclipse and runs into Sunday. And I know these lines aren't amazing, but you get the point. Anyways, it's Venus sextiling Mars and Chiron. And then they're just making the yods over to White Moon Selena. We have to trust that we're being guided to our divine light, to our divine path in life. And with Selena being in Scorpio, it's about that deep emotion and like trust, we gotta trust that we're going to be taken care of, that God has our best interest if we just take the time to believe and acknowledge that that everything, like, God is, everything's gonna work itself out. He or she, source, universe, it doesn't matter. Like, it's gonna work itself out if we just go towards our light and be our light and express it and trust that our divine light will guide us into a higher place. And this is it. This is one of the biggest weekends. One of the biggest weekends to just take that step and go into your light. And if you don't do it this weekend, you might not get another chance, because the world's going to suck you into that matrix that it's been in. And this is the 5D, 3D split. It's two timelines, like, running on top of each other. And it's intense stuff. Anyways, I already shuffled. I don't have time to shuffle anymore. Sorry, I went too long. The 8 of Coins reversed. Well, we need to master this new reality for sure, and we got to be a craftsman. We got to be crafty and figure out the structure that we do want, because it's about the emotions and it's about the structure, and it is about the physical world. We do have to deal with the physical world, but it's about the physical world that you can create and build in your immediate life. It's not about the world right now, which is crazy because people want to get so tied up in world events and politics, but it's just like, this guy's in his workshop building something for himself. Like, that's what we have to do. In reverse, it's like, I know that so many people are going to get caught up in the illusion that you have to go fix everybody else's problems, but it's like, we got to fix our immediate reality right now. And that's what the astrology is saying. So that's what I'm trying to channel to you. I love you all very much. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope that you have nothing but love this weekend and are just filled with just the best. Like, I love you all very much, and I will see you Monday. Take care.